Hey everyone, Coffee with Karen. I almost forgot my name. Click. Coffee with Karen. How you doing today? This is Ask the Spirit Guides with Karen, but this is Coffee with Karen. So welcome. Uh, Lots to talk about today for entertainment purposes only and allegedly. Thank you, Gary, for the mug. How cute is it? Okay, so lots to talk about. I just got done. Well, I'm in the middle. I got about 4 minutes to go of watching the Ezra Klein show. Do you guys know who that is? Ezra Klein. Really like he's so calm. He's a reporter, he's a journalist, and he puts together these sort of quick synopsis of things that are going on in the world. He just did one about Abrego Garcia, Gilmar. And I know much more now in 8 minutes than I did prior. So what I understand, and I will link this episode in the description below. Okay, so highly recommend if you want to hear somebody talk about what's going on in the world in a very calm way, very calm. I get excited when he has an episode come out, and he's really good at explaining what's happening in very basic ways and not emotional. Okay. So, which means I don't end up with a bunch of fear when I'm done watching his episodes. So in terms of Mr. Garcia, I didn't know his background, but now I do. Just because I didn't look it up. It didn't really matter to me. I just wanted to do that episode a couple days ago where we were sending him love and light. And I'll post that right here if you haven't done it and you're interested in doing helping send the love and light to him and to others who are being unjustly held. Please participate in that. And at the end of that video, there's a clearing for yourself for victimhood. Okay, because they are definitely victims, and we all have some victimhood energy in us that could be cleared from the collective. The more we clear ourselves, the more it clears from the collective, the more helpful it is for us as a society. So check out that for sure. But it's interesting because I didn't realize, and many of you probably already know this, but he actually grew up in El Salvador, and he came to the United States because a gang was threatening his parents' business. This happened to his brother too, and that they had to join the gang or his parents had to pay, okay, type of thing. So there was so this is what's going on there, at least in Mr. Abrego Garcia's situation, okay? So he came to the United States when he was 16. And that's why we provided him with a safe home here in the United States, which is beautiful. That was a notion and that was a practice of love, right? We brought him here to help him be safe. And unfortunately, he had to leave his family. His brother had to do the same. They had to leave their only home they knew. And of course they wanted to stay with their family, but they came to the United States to be safe. So, and he's had to renew his immigration status every year. And so it sounds to me, and this is way more than I thought I was going to talk about today, but I do have a bunch of stuff to talk about today, and a really good message from the SGs that is encouraging. We have another political message from the SGs that's encouraging today. So just help us keep some hope. I'll get to that very soon. So he basically, it sounds to me from listening to Ezra that first of all, we're paying El Salvador to take these people. We are paying them to hold Mr. Garcia. Okay. So it's like, and then the whole debacle of well, we can't get him back. Yeah. Okay. We all believe that. But, so we are paying them. And of course, they don't want to lose their payments from us. And it's like they definitely targeted him. They definitely targeted him. So I don't know if the person who runs that, the dictator of El Salvador, if he's originally a part of that gang that tried to threaten his family, and now this is payback. Because I don't know, there's something fishy about that. There's something fishy about that. This is, entertainment purposes only, and allegedly, obviously. But there is something fishy about that. So there's way more to this story than him just being picked up off the street, like randomly. I don't think this is random. I mean, I guess I didn't think it was random all along, but it felt more random initially, I think. So anyways, listen if you are more interested in this story, because here's the thing. And I talked about this when I did the clearing. We are now in a constitutional crisis, 100%. There is no longer a question of whether or not we're in a constitutional crisis, because they are ignoring even a 9-0 vote of the Supreme Court. Okay. So when we think of the next action day, like I always thought, I haven't participated in any of the protests yet, but I figured there would be a line that would be crossed where we would need to. And I think the line has been crossed. So this action day is coming up in 2 days. It's on the 19th. So I think whatever you've been doing, if you're interested, obviously not telling people what to do, because you're going to follow your intuition, as we always do in this community. Okay. Whatever you're doing, maybe take it up a notch. I think that's what we have to do, because the emergency is here. The constitutional crisis is in front of us. Okay. And we do need to take it up a notch. Now, my husband was just telling me our anniversary is on January 6th. It'll be like, how many years will it be? I don't know, like 33 or something. We got married in 92, so I haven't done the math for a while. So I guess they're trying to Cliff Cash. I was getting his two names. I'll post his video below, his channel below too. He is calling for 5 million people to show up in DC on the weekend of January 6th. So just so you know that that's happening too, because my husband's like, well, what are we doing on our anniversary? Which we never do anything anyways. But I mean, it will matter whether or not he can get off of work, or if he will be retired by then. We're not sure. So anyways, he was kind of interested in going. That would be overwhelming to me, I have to say. I am not sure. I'm not afraid to go, but I am not a huge group person at all. So I might just stick to the Capitol in Wisconsin and do that. But I mean, it would be kind of interesting. But just so you know, they are calling to get 5 million people, which would be a flood, you guys. We need to flood. We're getting to a point where I think postcards was great, but I don't think postcards is going to do it anymore. Calls are great. I'm not sure how much that is doing. So we need to start stepping things up, I think. I think it's here. It's here. And the lovely thing, and this is what I mentioned in my video that I'm going to post right here at the end of this about Mr. Garcia. I don't think is it Abuego Garcia? Is it a hyphenated name? I'm not sure. So I don't mean to be disrespectful. So I'm still going to continue just with Mr. Garcia, but it's really interesting to me, because when I did that video, I did catch one comment, and somebody had said, I'm kind of sick of everyone blaming things on soul contracts or whatever, that we have free will, But this situation is very interesting to me, because this is what's bringing the constitutional crisis to the United States. And as much as I know about soul contracts now, in terms of how much study and talk we've done on the channel about the spiritual journey I've been on, and how many spiritual folks have confirmed the idea of soul contracts, including my own SGs, using the rods, right? When I've done episodes on soul contracts, there's no doubt that this is a part of his soul contract. And what a beautiful thing, because I mean, we need to really send him lots of love, because he is doing something for the United States right now that's creating a constitutional crisis that is real early. It's real early on. Whereas if this didn't happen a year or so, maybe F-45 and that team of his, we can't even call it a team, the regime, maybe they would have taken this much, if they would have taken this much slower, which would have happened if they got in 2020, I guarantee it, because now they're backed up against that, the corporate tax law that's coming up for renewal. So they're backed up to that. So if things would have happened much slower, plus we would have been in a different astrological time in 2020, right, than we are now. Again, if things would have happened much slower, we might not have, it might not have just been in our face as clearly as it is. Okay. Like, let's just say throughout the next year, he did things really slow, but he did a bunch of stuff that was actually helpful. And then every once in a while he would do something to get their real agenda going. Right. But it wasn't so obvious, but everything's just so obvious and in our faces. And Mr. Garcia's case is doing that for us. So that's why I'm so, like, even if you did send love to him through that clearing that we did, let's all do it again, because it's just, he's doing something. His soul, his spirit here on earth is giving so much to the United States right now by creating this constitutional crisis much early in the regime's time that they've taken over, that it's going to benefit us overall. That's my sense. So, okay. So this will kind of relate to the message from the SGs that we have today. I'm using the dowsing, the pendulum. And then I will ask some clarifying questions with the pendulums. Okay. With the pendulum. No, not the pendulum, with the dowsing rods. First, I have a couple announcements though. So again, just a reminder, Action Day on the 19th. So whatever you're able to do. If you are chair bound, then postcards and calls are great. Okay. But if you have the ability to take the energy up a notch by showing up to something, then look on 5051, spell it out, 5051. I'll post it down below. I better start writing these down. If I don't, I forget. Okay, so Ezra. What was the second one I promised I would post for you? I'm on 5051. Oh boy, I don't remember the second one I promised I would post. All right, if somebody could put it in the comments, I'll remember to do that. Okay, so hopefully I'll remember. Okay, so Action Day the 19th. This is a no shopping day according to the People's Union. No shopping weekend. And then somebody in the community left a comment. Thank you very much. If you're going to do a no shopping weekend, try to make the shopping around it lighter too. I just think we're all getting to a point where it's like, well, do we really need everything that we're buying? Just keep everything. I think it's already Thursday before the no shopping weekend, but maybe next week, keep things, to just your fundamentals, So maybe even today, if you're going to go shopping for the weekend today, make it just fundamentals, like nothing extra. Like, I don't need new towels or a new blanket or, you know what I mean? Or new books or whatever. Now, I might shop this weekend at, if you're going to shop, if you shop, if you just feel like you need some shopping therapy, because, sometimes you do, then try to, look for a thrift shop. Or look for small businesses. We're not cutting off small businesses. If you live in a small town, and go visit a small business, we don't want to hurt small businesses. So speaking of small businesses, just a reminder that in case you haven't heard yet, we've officially launched the sales page for small businesses in our community. Okay. And I think on the 30th, so we have like a week left, we have an early bird special. And we're prioritizing those in the community, obviously. So please check that out if you want to get on the business directory, which we will then be sharing on a regular basis with the community here That's free to the community. It's a little bit of a cost for the businesses to get on, okay, to take care of the work that we have to do and, that we're going to be promoting it on a regular basis. So like in a situation like today, I would be able to say, we don't have the directory ready yet. It'll come out in May, early May, after the early bird special is over. So we'll be able to say, hey, if you want to do any shopping, if you need to find somebody a birthday gift, here's a list of our community that you could support to look for birthday gifts. So it's an amazing opportunity for small businesses. Yeah, we're making a little bit of money, but for small businesses, trust me, when I ran my other business, I'm not joking, I probably spent $200,000 on, I'm not kidding. My sister's like, yeah, we should run the numbers. I'm like, well, I'd have to say how much I made. I made more than $200,000 over the 5-year period, but I probably spent that much on advertising. So advertising is extremely expensive. It's very hard to sell on Etsy, at least for digital products. That's what I was doing. Very hard to sell on Etsy if you don't pay for advertising, and that's how much it cost me. I mean, I was probably paying them just, they were making 60%, I was making 40%. I mean, it's ridiculous how much. So anyways, $200 to get on a list for this community, who I know this community will want to support our small businesses, and I want to too. So yeah, if you have a business, service, a product, something like that artists, if we can support you, we will do that. So I think it's an amazing opportunity. So, and I'm excited to do it because I know what it takes to be a small business owner. I understand that. So if we will be able to get you some traffic here, because people will want to support you. So I'm kind of excited about that, including myself, like I said. Okay, we are going to do, yesterday I came up with the idea of, like, off the top of my head, that we're going to do a 30-day challenge, but I am going to just slow it down a little bit. I was going to try to have it ready for today, but I've got we're trying to get the directory, I want to do things well and not do too many things at one time. So we're going to start the 30-day challenge on March 1st, and that's for the public channel. Okay, that's everyone on the channel. It's not just in the spirit circle. Okay, and it's really all you'll need is a journal, a notebook, or whatever. So it's basically, the challenge is going to be, at least right now on the top of my head, it's going to be writing three pages of a stream of consciousness writing, it's called morning pages. The woman who came up with this technique calls it morning pages. She wrote The Artist's Way. I'll list that book below. It's an amazing book. Anyone who wants to open up their creativity, it's an amazing book. But the morning pages, doing 3 pages of and your journal can be this big or this big, whatever. Maybe not just sticky note size. That wouldn't be good. But if you've never tried this, and I want to do the 30-day challenge because I want to get back to doing a challenge myself. And so I thought, well, it'd be fun to do it as a community. So if you haven't ever tried just doing stream of consciousness journaling, it's not like what you did today type of thing. It's just whatever's in your mind. If you do that, especially first thing in the morning, if you can find the time to do it first thing in the morning when you wake up, so it might require you to get up like 15 minutes earlier, you will be amazed. One, how open your creativity, you get creative ideas because you're getting rid of all the shenanigans that's going on in your head, basically. Everything that's clearing and clunking up your head, you clear it. It's amazing. And the reason I want to do it on our spiritual journey is if it opens up your creativity, it will open up your intuition as well. Okay. So I thought, well, it'll be fun to do it as a community. So this is what you'd want to do right now. I will continue talking about it until May 1st. And then we'll have a sign up through email so you can get more of the specifics of how we're going to do it. Okay. So, but you basically at this point right now, if you want to participate, you can just start now, but if you want to participate in the challenge, then just have your journal ready and determine when you're going to do it. Like, what's the best time in your schedule? Okay. All right. And just FYI, Coffee with Karen will be coming tomorrow on Friday. I usually take Friday and Saturdays off, but because it's Easter, I thought, I don't know how many people are going to listen. I want to, hang out on YouTube on Sunday. So I'm going to take Saturday and Sunday off instead. So tomorrow there will be Coffee with Karen and something in the evening. Okay. All right. Let's see. I did want to say I had a favorite quote of the week, and because we did one episode last night with Jesus, and we're doing another one tonight, asking your questions to Jesus. And I was calling it Holy Week. Somebody said, yeah, it's Holy Shit Week. I thought that was funny. Holy Shit Week, right? Because of what's going on in the world. Yes, it is a Holy Shit Week. I thought that was funny. So, and the last thing I wanted to mention, because I've been talking about the shadow work that we're doing in the Spirit Circle, and I wanted to mention, we're doing this workbook. I just wanted to mention two things that actually came up for me today. I was doing all the exercises for what I'll be recording for the Spirit Circle today. And I mean, this is not taking me that long. I mean, this is not that strenuous of a thing. And it's so many, I'm getting a lot of clarity on my life. And the first thing I realized, and this is just a little sharing if people are interested. The first thing I realized was that mixed messages has been something in my life that is really intolerable to me. I didn't realize a lot of times when I respond to something negatively, it's because I'm getting a mixed message. And the thing that came up, the reason I know that now was a little bit of journaling today. It took like one exercise for me to remember it, but it did have to do with a birth chart that I received from someone in our community, and I know that she is signed up for the directory. So I'm excited to introduce you to her a little bit more once the directory is out. Faye, get ready to get bombarded because you should be. Anyways, one of the reports that she did for me is, this whole report, but one section in here was about how mixed messages has always been something, and it has to do with Neptune in my fourth house, which, has to do with the birth chart. But how I read this once before on the channel, but knowing this has helped me with my shadow work. So maybe I need to get on and get my regular schedule with Faye first before I send out, because I want to get on her calendar, because I'm kind of thinking to do this every month or every other month as my personal journey and my personal spiritual growth work. So there may be others who are joining the directory as well who do this work. So I'm really excited for people in our community, the people who want to dive a little bit deeper into their spirituality. This is really, really helpful. So if I didn't have this understanding from this report of how I grew up in an environment of mixed messages all the time, and that I always had to learn how to pick up on the unspoken and adjust accordingly, that really makes a huge difference on who I am. And it's something in my chart. So knowing that has allowed me to see it. It has come from the unconscious to the conscious, which is really what shadow work is all about. And now I'm super excited about it because I'm like, oh, when I get mixed, I am very intolerable of mixed messages. If I get a mixed message from somebody, I will call it out so fast. I will be, almost like not in a good way. So anyways, so that's part of my shadow work that I'm working on, to make my life more pleasurable and then my interactions with others more pleasurable, because I can recognize it now as a mixed message. And how do I want to respond to it in the future, The other one I came to realize is that as an empath and as a feeler especially, and the times that I have felt shame in my life or low self-confidence for making mistakes, okay? I mean, God forbid. We all make mistakes. We're all going to. This is a human experience. There's no perfection. We are making mistakes, especially when you interact with other people, because it's not even a mistake, but everybody perceive things differently. So you can say something and then it comes off as a mistake, right? So then you feel shame about it. But what I came to realize through doing just an exercise this morning, 1-page exercise, it came out. And you know what, you guys, morning pages will do this for you too. Morning pages will do this. Okay, so morning pages, you're going to discover things that were unconscious. Stream of consciousness writing, you will discover things that are unconscious in you that will come to your conscious, and it will help. That's why it clears things. It's so beautiful. That's why I want to do the challenge. Okay, I actually got prompted to do the challenge from this, because she does exercise number 20 was basically get a journal. Okay, so then I was like, okay, well, what can I do to bring it to the public channel then, to people who are not in the circle? So it'll be really fun. I hope all of you participate in the challenge, as many of you. It's going to take like 15 minutes of your time every day, but it could have a huge result for you. And it's not force. It's just stream of consciousness. It's what's going on in your brain. You're getting it down on paper. And the other thing is you might start tapping into automatic writing, hearing your guides, and maybe we'll work on that come the next month. Maybe we'll do a 30-day challenge, after this first one on automatic writing. That would be kind of fun. So got that idea now. Okay. But we got to start with the stream of consciousness first. Okay. So, but my second thing I came to realize today is that everything I have done in my life, regardless of the mistakes I've made and the shame I have felt or the low confidence I have accepted in myself, like I've accepted those mistakes and my confidence dropped down, right? Everything I have done was out of love. Everything I have done was out of love. I've never done anything. Well, I've had communications out of anger before. So I'm not saying those kind of things, but all of my actions that I have taken, I have never acted. I'm not saying I've never thought or spoken out of fear or anger. All of my actions that I have taken, if you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, have been based out of love. And that's really different than, I'm going to explore this more to see if there were any actions I've taken that were based out of hate, anger, or fear. But I am realizing that I don't need to feel the shame the level of shame that I have as an empath and a feeler, because my motivation was love. Whatever the mistakes were, my motivation was love. It wasn't hate. So that would be different, right? And I'm going to examine that. I'm going to see, were there times in my life that I did things that then brought me, like I felt shame because I made a mistake. And I'm talking like little mistakes. Like I would feel shame around little mistakes, like unbelievably like misperception, different, you know. And so this is why this work is really helpful, to help clear that stuff so that we can have joy and contentment with how we're feeling in ourselves. Okay. So those are two things that have come up recently that will help me. That's kind of my foundation for my shadow work now. So now I have some foundation and now I can build on that. Okay. Those mixed messages, and how does that come up all the time in my life? And am I responding to something in love, or am I responding from hate or fear? So I'm going to be looking at those two things. Okay. So, the message from the SGs today, so just a clarification for those who are new, we have, so I use a pendulum, and then these, charts, I have my own charts that we're developing, but I don't have them done yet. And they'll be coming to the channel at some point. But somebody in our community had mailed these. I hope she's going to join the business directory because these are amazing. And so I use these with a pendulum, okay, which was also sent to me from someone in the community. and I get messages from the spirit guides. Now, I consistently now, I say the prayer, and I ask for a political message and a personal message, and I ask for, it needs to be for our highest and best good, and it needs to come from anyone who's watching this video. It needs to come from all of our spirit guides, okay? All of our spirit teams. So they give the message collectively. So it's not just mine, okay? That's kind of how I've been setting it up recently. So this is the political message. And remember, this is why I use this mug today, actually. For entertainment purposes only and allegedly. Because I really picked that mug up because of this message. Okay. And, take this message for what it's worth and just use it as a little bit of encouragement and a little hope. And there's no timeline on this because I'm not asking about timeline because timelines are ridiculous. Okay. Here it is. So we haven't had this. We haven't gotten this for a little while. It's been like a week. We haven't gotten any messages like this. So F45 is going down. F40, they actually spelled out his name though. So, and then I had wrote the crisis is now. They didn't write that. Okay. So the personal message that they gave us then. So then I asked for a personal message and they said, let God handle it. I really like that. I like that, the way they spelled that out more than like trust God, let God handle it. I think that's amazing. Now, does that mean we don't take place on April 19th? No, it doesn't mean that. Let God handle it. What it does mean, though, is that you take inspired action, which you've heard me talk about. So whatever you're inspired to do, which means your spirit team, you can ask them for guidance. What would you guys like me to do? Help me decide what's the best action for me to take during this constitutional crisis, basically. Okay. And then follow that. And then don't judge others for doing what they choose to do. That's the key, right? Okay. The interesting thing about this message is that then they chose for me to use this card deck again, which we just used yesterday, I believe. So let God handle it. They also wanted me to do a reading from this card deck. Okay, so the Oracle of the Seven Energies. Anytime I use decks, I always list them in the description below as well as when I talk about channels. So, okay, so let's do, I guess I don't really have any clarifying, me personally, I don't really have any clarifying questions. I was going to pull out the rods about F45 is going down. Personally, like I would prefer it was an arrest versus like a unaliving, just because I won't be able to handle, I mean, I will, but we're going to handle anything. But the whole martyr thing, like that would just be unfreaking believable if he ended up in that situation. I mean, freaking believable. What did I hear recently? He wants to be on a coin. He wants now I'm like, I swear to God, he wants to be on a coin. He wants, what else? What was that other thing he wants to do, which is so unbelievable? I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not coming to, there's another thing he wants. Oh yeah, the whole parade. I swear, if that, the military parade, you want to see someone pissed off, that would piss me off so bad. Oh my God, that would piss me off so bad. Because, I mean, who does military parades? Who does that? We know who do that. Who do that? We know who do that. Yeah, dictators. Which, by the way, if you guys don't watch Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel's good too, but Jimmy shows a little too many clips of F45 and it drives. I can't stand watching him. So he shows a little too many clips of him, but Stephen doesn't as much. And so, but Stephen Colbert called him, so dictator, he called him Tater Dick. Which is funny because tater tots are kind of orange. They're brownish orange. Oh my gosh, Tater Dick. Oh man, that was funny. Okay. I'll post Stephen again. Anytime I talk about other channels, I'll put it down there, Stephen Colbert. If you guys aren't watching him, he's funny. It helps you laugh about the situations, but they also will be serious about it and be like, And I'll list Jimmy Kimmel too, in case you don't know who he is. Okay. All right. So let's do a reading from the Oracle of the Seven Energies. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and all of those of the purest and highest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect this community and this channel so it is only of the purest and highest light. Amen. Okay, so you guys wanted to give some messages. Yep, one just fell right out. You wanted to give some messages. No, okay. They don't even let me talk. They're not letting me talk. All right, is that it? Messages? Okay, I got a couple others that popped out. All right, so I've got 4. This is the back side. So I'm not looking at the messages. Whoops. I'm going to guess that the 2 over here, because those popped out right away. Let's see. What do they want us to know? All right. I know that they did say, I asked if they wanted me to do a pick 1 today, and they want to do a pick 1, which means they're going to lay down 3 cards and you pick 1. So get in your mind now 1 through 3. They want to do a pick 1 for the letting go deck. Okay. Because apparently we each need a little different message. Okay, so did we pick the right card here, you guys, out of this deck? Oracle of the Seven Energies? Yes. All right, which ones do you want me to read? Let's start from the one on the right. No. The second one in? No. The third one in? Yes. The fourth? Yes. And the fifth? Yes. Well, this is going to be a long video. Okay, do you guys want to do a pick 3 on this one as well? Or a pick 1? No, you want me to read all 3 for everybody? Yes, okay. I mean, the other ones are kind of read. I mean, I pick up messages on all the other ones too, but all right, well, this is going to be a long video because they're having me do 2 readings today. Oh, well, that's okay. I don't know how many people stick around till the end, but I mean, we have stats on that, but I don't really pay attention to that too much. Okay, so the first one is close encounters. So I'm going to look at all 3. So close encounters. And it's a 1, so it's a 10 card. 1 plus 0 is 1. All right, let's see what the second one is. So this was reversed. Is there a reverse on this? Okay, so these don't have a reverse on this. Okay. So this is the Rose's Kiss, a 9. Okay, so we've got Close Encounters, the Rose's Kiss. Both these were reversed, at least the way I put them down. Shining Through, and it's a 3. 3 plus 0. 3, 9, and 1. 3, 9, and 1. And that's actually how they fell. 3, 9, 1. So if anybody wants to play the lottery, no, just kidding. I don't know. Anybody pick up on, 9, 1, 3, 3, 9, 1. We do have a 19. Oh, it's too bad we don't have a 4. Because if this was 4, then it would be like 4/19, which is the next action day. That would be kind of interesting. So let me know if you guys pick up on anything from 193, 391, or whatever. Okay, so let's just read a little bit of each one. So Close Encounters. See if you pick up anything that you needed to hear today, okay? Close Encounters. Let's see if I can read. I'm going to put some more light on the subject. There we go. Hey, I could use that light more often. Duh. All right. Okay, Close Encounters. Vulnerability as a strength. Letting others see your wounds as well as your strengths. And setting healthy boundaries. This is so shadow work right here. Everything that just said is everything I just filled out in that workbook this morning. So this I can tell is an encouragement for people. I don't care how you do it. It doesn't have to be that workbook. Just start considering inner work. Okay. They've been bugging us this week about inner work. Really, really important. Okay. So you're going to hear me continue to say it. So vulnerability as a strength. That was something that shadow work is bringing up things that you feel vulnerable. It is vulnerable. I mean, look at, I literally, in the spirit circle, when we go over those exercises, I literally say how I filled it out. So it's very vulnerable, right? So shadow work is vulnerable, especially if you're going to talk to other people about it, which is can be a good thing, like going to therapy or whatever. So vulnerability as a strength, letting others see your wounds as well as your strengths, because that's the vulnerability. I have some friends who just can't admit. They can't say sorry. They can't admit when they've done something wrong. And it's harder to be around them, and setting healthy boundaries. That was an exact activity I just filled out. It's funny. Okay, so I'm just going to read the keywords because we have a lot of cards here. All right, so the rose's kiss, the key concepts of the rose's kiss is joy, experiencing pleasure, deep satisfaction and enjoyment, desires acknowledged, 5 sensory reality. Okay, so let's see. Your 5 senses are aching to be engaged right now. This is an invitation to get out of your head and into your body, which is also inner work. You may be a spiritual and intellectual being, but right now the emphasis should be on having a sensory experience. Okay, so going out in nature, participating in a protest, that's a sensory experience rather than just sitting and writing or making phone calls, right? This is a sacred part of this gift of life. By being present to the sensual world, you invite an even deeper spiritual experience. Okay, this is encouraging me to go to the protest for whatever reason, to have that sensory experience, even though I don't really enjoy going into big crowds and stuff. Perhaps it really is time to stop and kiss the roses. It also could be, remember, let God handle it. It's also about letting go and have some joy in your life right now, regardless of what's going on. So tell me how you're interpreting that for you. Okay, number 30. So this is shining through. So for some reason, they wanted us to have all these messages today. Okay. The key concepts for this is self-expression without filters or masks, authentic communication, being proud of who you are, shining in the world, refusing to make yourself small just to belong. Oh my God, inner work, inner work. It's amazing, you guys. That's exactly why you want to do the inner work. Self-expression without filters or masks, obviously still being kind, but doing that without filters or masks, authentic communication. She talks about shadow work as is the way to become more authentic with yourself, okay? And with others. Being proud of who you are. We're not hiding behind the shame anymore because we understand it. Shining in the world, refusing to make yourself small just to belong. Just to belong. I love it. I love it. Okay, those were great. And I think those all have to do with let God handle it for sure. So now we have the next deck, and this is letting go. Now, another way, I showed this yesterday, but because we used this deck yesterday, but I had picked up his journal too. I haven't done it yet, but this would be another way if to do shadow work if you wanted to, okay? Or another way to journal during morning pages if you wanted more structure. It's better to do subconscious, but all right, my husband's going to be home any minute. I might have to pause. Okay. So let's see. All right. What cards do you want us to have today, you guys? This is the pick one, you guys. So this is the pick one. So go ahead while I'm shuffling and decide, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just pick a number 1 through 3. I'm being quiet so you can figure out your number. Plus, I can figure out mine. Okay. Okay. Not getting this third one. You guys have another one, number 3. Oh, there we go. Fell right out of the pack. All right. Let me just make sure that those are what they want. All right. So, did we get the correct cards, you guys? Yes. And the one on the right is number 1. Yes. Is the one in the middle number 2? And the one on the left is the number 3? Yes. So yes to all of that. Okay. So for those who picked number 1, I did. I picked number 1. I always forget which way to read these. Okay. So, though available to all of us, the state of peace is reached by very few people. Bummer. That's what we're working on here, to be more peaceful. The inner experience of most people is marked by constant stress. Yep, inner work and trusting in God. The main stress to the majority of us is not due to external stimuli, but to the pressure of our own suppressed emotions. Most people who learn and practice the letting go technique notice a progressive improvement in physical health and vitality, and in joy and contentment and peace. That's awesome. Confirmation. You guys are going to get so sick of hearing me talk about inner work, but we've got to do it. I have to keep saying it to myself. I know it's not enough. Like, I wouldn't be doing this as intensely as I am if it wasn't for the community. And the fact that I'm doing it is going to improve my life dramatically. So that's why I want to keep encouraging, because I know it's hard to find time in the day to do it. Like, I'd rather watch Ezra. So, okay, these are for number 2, okay? Letting go is like the sudden cessation of an inner pressure or the dropping of a weight. Definitely. It is accompanied by a sudden feeling of relief and lightness with an increased happiness and freedom. So maybe, like, each of us, in order for us to continue with our inner work or start doing it more often, it's more often, really, like on a regular basis, maybe these are just the way you needed to hear the message, because these are all about letting go. So I don't know. You'll have to tell me, because, both those messages are kind of similar. So I don't know why they wanted us to do a pick one for this particular deck. Okay. So the next one is, what one holds in mind tends to manifest. Okay. So some of you might be working on manifesting directly, and maybe you needed to hear this. And any thought which we consistently hold in mind and consistently give energy to will tend to come into our lives according to the very form in which our mind has held it. And that includes anger and hatred towards F45. So that's why we're doing the inner work right now. It's a beautiful time for it. So, okay, well, hopefully you've gotten something out of this today. And I will see you in part 2 tonight at 7 p.m. Central, where we're asking additional questions that the community had for Jesus. And I did thank him in this one. I do forget, because I'm used to just being I'm talking to you guys. I forgot to thank him yesterday after part 1. It's kind of rude. So I know that he doesn't mind, but I do like to do that. And so part 2, and then I'll see you tomorrow morning on a Friday for Coffee with Karen. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.